Hey guys, it's Will here and welcome to month 5 of Tale of Four Gamers. This month, like we did in month 3, we've got a double battle report for you. So later on, Sam will be taking on Adam, so that's going to be Astra Militarum against Tyranids. But first, I take on Tom, so Scythes of the Emperor versus Thousand Suns and other Chaos allies. Up to 1500 points this month, so these are starting to feel like proper full-size games now, so you're basically getting double the Batrep this month. So yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at what me and Tom have added and the mission we're playing. So here is the latest incarnation of my Scythes of the Emperor. We're up to 1500 points this month, but due to points reductions in the General's Handbook, I was able to add closer to 350 points rather than 250 points in new models, because I saved so much elsewhere. So the new stuff is the Venerable Dreadnought, got the Twin Las Cannon and the Missile Launcher on there, and a second unit of Hellblasters to go with the one I already had. My HQs are my captain in Gravis armour. He's my general. He's got the power sword, which is a scythe, and also the gauntlet on there. And then my lieutenant is just stock with a power sword. And for my elites, I've got the banner, Primaris Ancient, and that's the standard of the Emperor Ascendant. And then I got my two dreadnoughts, the new Venerable and the Redemptor that I had from about month 2 or 3 onwards. And we got 3 units of intercessors, so 2 of 5 with no upgrades and 1 of 5 where the sergeant has the power sword. Then I've got a unit of Inceptors, just the 3 dudes there. And then the Whirlwind, who has underperformed a bit lately, and I'm considering swapping this turret out next month for a Razorback turret, making him a Razorback, but for now he's still a Whirlwind. And yeah, that is 1500 points of Space Marines. And here's Tom's army for tonight, up to 1500 points. But you can tell here this is an army where he's painted the fun stuff before painting the general troops. The only troops unit is these Brimstone Horrors, and they're an auxiliary choice. The rest of it is a Supreme Command detachment, and we really have a who's who of the stars of the Chaos Codex. We've got Magnus the Red. I know he's not actually in the Chaos Codex, but you know what I mean. We've got Abaddon. This is a third-party model, and he is looking very nice indeed. We've got the Changeling. We've got Be'lakor. We've got Azek Ahriman, and then a unit of 5 Scarab Occult Terminators. So a very nice looking army, but very small. He's certainly going to be outnumbered tonight. So we're all deployed now, and tonight we'll be playing the Kill Confirmed Maelstrom mission. So in addition to 3 Maelstrom cards a turn, we get points for every unit we destroy, and can't discard any objectives that require us to kill something unless it's physically impossible to do. For example, if Tom draws Kill a Psyker, because I haven't got any Psykers. And we've got Spearhead Assault deployment, so end to end with a pointy bit in the middle, but we've pulled quite a way back because we want to get a few turns of shooting in as these forces of chaos come in on us. All the objectives are on this flank of the board here, so will it all be played down that one side? Don't know, we need some room to manoeuvre, but yeah, got 3 down here in my deployment zone, or near my deployment zone, and that Dreadnought's a little bit far forward. Actually, I'm just going to pull that back a tad because he was out of the deployment zone. So yeah, got most of my infantry in here, Hellblasters further back and Intercessors further forward screening them, Dreadnoughts behind, and then my captain and banner in there, lieutenant over there, Whirlwinds behind the rocks, and my Inceptors are in reserves. He's put Ahriman, Changeling, Be'lakor and the little horrors up front, Magnus further back, and then Abaddon and the Terminators in reserve. At the moment he finished deploying first, so he is going to get +1. Hey Tom, do you want to roll off the first turn? You get +1. I got a 1, he got a 3, then I'm going to try and seize the initiative. Nope, initiative not seized, so Chaos, turn 1. Game started with all of the forces of chaos surging forward. Tom had 3 objectives this turn: defend 6, which was down here, secure 5, which was over behind the woods, and psychological warfare. So Magnus comes forward, heading towards my lines, and proceeds to smite this intercessor squad here, and as you can see there's only the one dude left there. Araman and Be'lakor moved up, and then Araman warp-timed Be'lakor to right in front of my Hellblasters. Right in front of my intercessors that then had the Hellblasters behind them. And the Changeling and the Horrors spread out to get objective 5, scoring him his first point. And Magnus is just within Changeling's 9-inch aura. He then got all his buffs up, so Magnus is now toughness 8, with a 3+ invuln re-rolling 1s, and he's near enough to him that he's -1 to hit as well, so that's going to be a pain to take down. And then Be'lakor charged into both units, used the fly ability to fly over and actually target the Hellblasters as well as the intercessors, but unfortunately for him the Hellblasters overcharged their Overwatch and got 5 6s, which did a total of 6 wounds to him in the end, despite his re-rollable invuln save. So good work there. I mean, they were all cut down in the end, but you know, Be'lakor is still locked down fighting those 2 who passed the leadership test, denying him psychological warfare. And it also meant that you know, the Hellblasters had done something before they went down. But it's okay, I've got more Hellblasters, and Be'lakor is now trying to stare down a Redempted Dreadnought, so yeah, he probably isn't going to be around next turn is what I'm thinking. So Tom got 2 points off the bat, and then we go on to the first Space Marine turn. Let's see how I can respond to this force. So my 3 objectives: defend 4, quite doable in the centre of my deployment zone there, area denial, and no mercy, no respite, so basically kill things. So started off my turn by pulling these guys out of combat with Be'lakor and just rejigging so there was at least somebody within range of objective 4, although I fear I may not be able to hold that with Magnus coming down on me. Brought my intercessors down over here to try and shoot Changeling, who was exposed. Did do 5 wounds to him after saves. 4 wounds after saves, which would have killed him, but Tom used a command point to save him, which meant I was -1 to hit Magnus, which was the big story of this turn, because I knew Be'lakor would go down to the Dreadnought in combat, so I couldn't shoot Araman, so I just wanted to shoot Magnus. So all of this fired at Magnus. Dreadnoughts, Hellblasters, Intercessors, a Whirlwind, 2 wounds in total. That -1 to hit, +1 toughness, it was just, so tough. But, you know, it's not over yet. I've taken down Be'lakor. Changeling I tried to assault, but unfortunately rolled a 3, so wouldn't even have been able to get in there, even if I'd used command points to re-roll it. So unfortunately Changeling's alive for another turn, but we will deal with him. I'm just worried about those Scarab Occult Terminators due to come down, and Magnus ready to charge my lines. But I got 2 points, 1 for no mercy, no respite, 1 for the mission, and then we're going to go into Thousand Suns, turn 2. So the Thousand Suns and General Forces of Chaos continued their advance towards my forces this turn. His objectives were defend 6, which was going to be tricky for him, supremacy, and defend 3, which is over here, but he had the one where you have to do it with your Warlord for that, and he didn't really want to drop Abaddon down there. Abaddon and the Terminators came down here before Magnus, Araman did warp time on him to move him up in an attempt to get him into charge range. Magnus pushed up right in the centre of my forces, and the Horrors spread out ready to grab as many objectives as they could. Changeling cast Smite on the Intercessors, the Inceptors, and killed one of them, 2 mortal wounds there, but they're not about to run anywhere. The rest of the Psychic phase, Magnus smited the unit of Intercessors here and killed 2 of them. And then he also cast +1 toughness on and reroll invuln saves, or reroll 1s on invulns on Abaddon, and Magnus got +1 strength. But both Abaddon and Magnus failed their charges. Magnus was only 4 inches out and failed. Abaddon was 8 inches out after warp time, going for the Dreadnought, because the Space Marine that was there had been smited. But he failed despite a reroll and actually took a wound from the Dreadnought's Overwatch firepower. In the shooting phase, these Terminators shot for the Hellblasters, but cover and some lucky armor saves saved me. But Magnus did make it into the Intercessors and also the banner, so my Ancient is dead, as is the rest of this Intercessor squad. But, you know, my Captain's still alive, both Dreadnoughts are still up, and I've still got a unit Hellblasters, so it's not as bad as it could have been. He is up to 7 points now, though, for kills and also getting Supremacy this turn. But it's not over yet. We may only have 2 points, but we have time to strike back. So I started my turn 2 with Defend 4, Secure 6 and Defend 2. Defend 2 wasn't really going to happen, that's been discarded at the end of the turn, but I was able to push up my Lieutenant to grab me 6, and this was one hell of a brutal turn. The only other movement was the Intercessors jumping from over here behind Changeling, and killed a few horrors with their shooting before charging Changeling, but failing to take off his last wound. But that's incidental. The real damage was down here. It took a lot. Intercessors, 2 Dreadnoughts, the Whirlwind, the Captain, the Lieutenant, all fired on Magnus, and in the end we did it. We took him down. It was the Redemptor Dreadnought that did the final damage, but Magnus the Red is gone. Losing his buffs this turn made a real difference, and was able to just murder him with that much firepower. The Redemptor Dreadnought then pulled off a charge on Ahriman and killed him easily in combat, but Abaddon was able to heroic intervention in, and he was just an absolute beast, and Abaddon has taken down my Dreadnought. But Magnus and Ahriman both down in a turn. Abaddon outnumbered with a lot of guns pointing at him. Psychic support basically gone. I could still win this. It's 8 points to 5 at the moment in the favour of the Thousand Suns, but this is only turn 2. I think we might be able to do this. So, despite the casualties they've taken, the surviving forces of Chaos were continuing to press their advantage this turn. The Scarab Occult moved up, as did Ahriman, and the Horrors moved off to claim that objective. He had Secure 3. He was also holding Defend 6 and a Mission Critical on 2 that he wasn't able to score. So to get to Objective 6, the Scarab Occult Terminators moved up into range of the brain's just gone blank, Lieutenant and also the Hellblasters. Shot the Hellblasters with his heavy weapons and killed 2 of them. Another one died to Abaddon's Talon of Horus shooting, and then he assaulted the Lieutenant and wiped him out. Abaddon charged into my Captain and was a bit unlucky, took a mortal wound from his own weapon, and then I did get a little bit lucky with my saves, but the ultimate scenario is my Captain is on 1 wound, although all his return attacks didn't work. I got a bit unlucky with my rolls to hit, but the fact that he's still alive is a blessing, so not going to complain there. And Abaddon is in my deployment zone on only 4 wounds. Points wise, he got 1 for killing the Lieutenant, 1 for the objective he claimed, and I think that was it. Just another 2 points this turn, although that brings him up to 10 points now, and I got a point for killing the Changeling in the assault with these guys. So turn 3 and still all to play for. Right, the fight back continues here, and it was a really good turn actually. I had good cards, Defend 4, Secure 3 and Overwhelming Firepower. So 3 was over here, so my Intercessors jumped into combat jumped over the Brimstone Horrors, shot them, then charged them, leaving just a single one alive and getting me Secure 3. And as you can see, Abaddon's gone. It did take some effort. The Captain, these 2 Tactical Marines, the Whirlwind and the Hellblasters. There was a lot of firepower there, but Abaddon is finally gone. So that is Warlord, Overwhelming Firepower and a point for the kills. So really pleased with that. And that's brought me up to 10 points. However, I wasn't able to wipe out these Terminators. The Dreadnought did manage to kill 2 of them, which is nice. But so he's got Objective 6 there, Defend. So that is 12 points in total to the Thousand Suns. But he has 3 Terminators and a Brimstone Horror left. to survive 2 turns, surrounded by the survivors of the Scythes of the Emperor. So it looks like I should better pull this, but you know, don't underestimate Scarab Occult Terminators. As I said, don't underestimate these guys. They split their fire out and were able to kill that surviving tactical squad there, which denied me the opportunity to get defend for. They also killed the captain with their shooting and charged the Hellblasters. So I'm left with just 1 Hellblaster alive on 1 wound. And over here, my intercessors failed to finish off the Brimstone, even though he charged into my Overwatch and I had combat attacks. So I'm going to have to spend some time dealing with him. But the death of the Warlord and that unit brought him up to 15 points to 10. So I really am going to need to massacre these guys as we head into my 4th turn to have any chance of winning this game. Bad cards this turn, very bad cards, nothing I could really achieve, and needed to deal with those Hellblasters. But I didn't really have much luck. Hellblaster stepped out. I think I said Hellblasters there, I meant Scarab Occult. Hellblaster stepped out, fired at them, didn't do anything. Dreadnought fired at them, they passed all their saves. Whirlwind fired at them, did nothing. Pulled my Inceptors out of combat with the Brimstone, thinking I'll just shoot him on my way down the other end of the table. But somehow he passed all his saves. That Brimstone is getting a promotion, I think. So yeah, things are not quite going to plan. I then charged the Dreadnought into the Scarab Occult, not expecting much damage, but just to prevent them from shooting next turn, because strength 4 against me is not too much of a worry with my toughness 7 and 8 wounds. Going to discard Emperor's Retribution because I literally cannot do it, whereas Honour the Chapter is at least theoretically possible. But yeah, nothing much scored that turn as we go into the 5th and potentially final turn. So turn 5, and Tom's turn was largely uneventful. I don't think he actually achieved anything much. He did move the Terminators out of combat onto Objective 1 because he was holding defend that, so he's keeping his points lead. But then in my turn I brought the Intercessors back to the Inceptors back to kill that Brimstone Horror and score me priority Emperor's Retribution for D3 by fighting them off the objective, and that's a 6. So that's another 3 points there, which is very nice indeed. And then the Dreadnought, the Whirlwind and the Hellblaster fired at the Scarab Occult. Hellblaster killed himself for doing no damage, Whirlwind killed 1, Dreadnought killed 1, then the missile launcher fired, wounded, went through, rolled a 1 on my d6. I'd already burnt through all my command points, so I thought, let's finish him off with a charge. Didn't do any damage on the charge. If the game ends now, Tom wins on points. 1 more turn, and I think I can kill that one last Terminator. We're going to roll. It's a 3. Game carries on, and Objective 4's been moved. So Tom's turn, with only having 1 model, was very quick. The Terminator swang at the Dreadnought, didn't do anything. Then in my turn I backed the Dreadnought out of combat, fired the las cannon, and that's a dead Scarab Occult. So victory to the Imperium. That was close. Early turns I thought he had me. We both had a good mix of good and bad luck, but in the end the weight and numbers of the Primaris Marines was just enough to tip the balance against the forces of chaos. Right, so honestly thought I was going to get got there. The first couple of turns Magnus was all over me, but then a little bit of bad luck on Tom's part, and we finally managed to pull it out.
Yeah, I whiffed a couple of rolls. I mean, I didn't walk time Magnus in straight away. Maybe I should have, but it's only a friendly game, and I wanted to see how a few units went, and yeah, it's good fun. So
yeah, I think not walk timing Magnus, you know, wasn't as bad because you walk timed something. And
walk time Be'lakor.
Yeah, he came in and did his job.
Yeah.
But I think not giving Magnus the same buffs in the second turn. He was first turn Magnus was nigh on unkillable. Yeah. Second turn he was a bit squidgier. Yeah,
because I obviously put the 3+ invuln on Abaddon. And expecting to charge him in, and he failed his charge. So
yeah,
then a 4+ invuln is nowhere near as good, obviously, and just weight of dice to put him down straight away.
Yeah, I think that's the trick with Primarchs, is exploit them when they're weak. You know, when they've not got their buffs up, and just smash them.
No matter how good a model is, weight of dice will always prevail. So you force them bad rolls, and that's what will do the damage. And that's what happened today. That was great fun. One of the best games I've had in ages.
Yeah, so it was really good fun, really close game, and nice to pick up my first win in about a month. I had a nice streak of winning for a while, and then been on a bit of a losing streak, but we've pulled it back. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and yeah, we'll see you again soon. Next Tale of 4 Gamers is next month, but we'll have plenty of other stuff before then.
Yeah, we've got a tournament coming up soon,
Oh,
so
yeah,
Will
you
might
guys got your tournament.
I might send Will a couple of photos or something.
Yeah, sounds good. I can't make it to that one, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how you guys get on. Yeah. Anyway, I'll catch you later, guys.
See ya.
Bye.